doves. She fly whisper for a lion to come up. For they keep on attacking the doves. She pray whisper for a lion to come, yeah.
Once again, it's on. Yes, indeed. Peace and blessings, all checking in. You are now tuning in to original time and original place. We call it the historical West End. You know what I mean?
We loving it.
This is a real, true history. You know, because you know it's a history too. You know, we talking about the tree that grow. You know, so history. Yeah, let's deal with his tree, you know, because his tree is the father too, you know, because the father has his tree, you know what I'm saying, that bears his fruit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. So we dealing with the true his tree, you know what I mean, because we thankful for that. So boom, we are here in the Western area, tuning in, everybody coming through and building with us. No say this is one positive episode. We're going to build on some consciousness. And y'all now tuning into what? The Think Champs. You already know. I'm here. I got my people with me. You know, I got my brethren.
Rebel with a cause.
And also, I got my number one link brethren.
Yes, I had the missing link, never the weakest link, a.k.a. Abendigo Fin2, also known as Old Dirty Ill. Gonna get down. Junior Black Panther, been doing it for a long time. I'm in the building, and we're gonna run this correct. Seeing.
That's what it take. That's what it take. So we building, we in, you know what I'm saying? It's the month of June. You know, a lot going on. We in 2021, right? The month of June. This is the same time when they bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, over 100 years ago right now, we stepping in, you know? Because they bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma in June in 1921, right? That's when they destroyed the black commerce, you know what I'm saying, from at its highest peak of building here in United Snakes, right? So we were at an all-time high of entrepreneurs and builders, you know what I mean, at that time, you know, creators, right? And business owners too, you know what I mean, all kind of businesses, right?
So was it a black Wall Street or was it more like black Main Street? It wasn't Wall Street because they wasn't trading those stocks and bonds. So I think we're going to get into that later on. But see how they always throw them words out there just to twist it up and just to cause controversy and make it more of a lie, but even some kind of how believable. Because it wasn't no Wall Street. Well, on Wall Street, they trade stocks and bonds. So why they calling it Black Wall? We wasn't trading no stocks and bonds, but we was running legitimate businesses, hospitals, banks, libraries. All of that was ours. So it was more of a Main Street than it was a Wall Street. Go ahead, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Wait, let me say this real quick.
Yeah, brother.
What if I argue the fact that the money we generated was the same amount as a Wall Street?
That's arguable. We could have
We
that
were
discussion.
that valuable
We could have that discussion.
as a Wall Street.
I can see
So,
that
you know,
truly.
You can use that metaphor maybe. But I like your point too.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
The fullness is, you know, is black wealth, you know what I mean, that was generated amongst black.
Millionaires.
You know, to stop that was the key in the end game. You know what I'm saying? To stop us from spending with us,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and being comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. See, we're very uncomfortable right now spending money with our own. You know how it go, right? Because we be out in the vending tip, right? You know how it go, right? When people they'll pull out the least bit of change for you. You know, they want the least.
You get that for $5.
They want to show you the least bit of change, knowing they got much more. They got the card, everything. They want to pull out the least bit of change and see if I can really get it with the change. But then they go to all these name brand people, you know, Nike and the check guy and all those people, right? And as soon as they go through, they pulling out the card.
Quick.
And they swiping it, don't care what it is, right? Tax, no matter.
No hesitation.
But as soon as they see you, they want the hookup.
Where'd you make it? What's it made out of?
They want.
How heavy is it?
So is that and I'm playing the devil's advocate here, but is that a form of self-hate, or is that a form of so-called when in Rome do as the Romans do? Because our history dictates that we did a lot of bartering, but then when it come to dealing with that savage, he is gonna run game. So you gotta kind of, when you deal with him, you gotta deal with him how you deal with him. But when you're dealing with us, you deal with us how you deal with us.
Yeah.
So it's like everywhere in the world where you see people of color, indigenous people, we've always bartered. We didn't start dealing with currency till we start listening to the fuckery coming from the savage. I don't know how we got caught up in that one, but
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna keep going.
Because the original commerce we dealt with was gold and silver.
See it?
You know what I mean? It wasn't no guy face printed on no dollar bill. You know what I'm saying?
Fiat.
The original money we changed was currency, was dollar bill. I mean, not dollar bills, but it was gold and silver. Also land.
Heavy metal.
You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
traded goods. This is what we call barter and trading. See, right now we begging and borrowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But our original state, when we were kings and queens, we were bartering and trading.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We became niggas and bees. We started begging and borrowing. You see what I'm saying? It's a lower state that we took, because you got to understand that everything that you've been taught has been a lie. There's no facts to nothing you've been taught. From Christopher Columbus all the way up,
Man,
Cap.
I
Right.
want to get into that later on, man.
Cap.
right?
I want to
So,
get into him.
all of it's been lies. Trump been told them, say the news was fake. They ain't want to believe that.
Cap.
But Christmas and all that been fake too. They've been promoting
Cap.
fake news.
Man, they counting Christmas money
Right.
100 years from now.
So it ain't nothing new with their lies.
Making
They've
that
been
new
telling.
story.
So my point is, you really got to unlearn everything you learn. You know?
But hey, brother, let me ask y'all, man. Do you think a person who has been misled for as long as the people have been misled are ready for the incredible amount of responsibility it's going to take to do what you just said? What did you just say we need to do? We've been misled, right?
Yes, sir.
So now what we got to do? Look
Right.
at that responsibility you're putting on a man that's making $300,000 a year, loving what this system is doing, and he's following the system, even though he sees foul. And now he has to accept the fact that everything he's doing is incorrect, and he got to figure out another way to get this $300,000. What you think he gonna do?
He gonna hesitate, like they all do. But do we, like we a little bit past the time, do we care in these years? Like we've been doing this. Every generation fell for it. Some of us is awake, some of us asleep. Our whole job to me is to wake up the dead, civilize the savage, right? So that burden for us to be here 1,000 years from now, I think it's on us. And
Is there a line?
we didn't get nowhere near that line because we teaching that. Is that line aggression?
Well, maybe I should say, I mean, you know, like Bob say in the song, Rat Race, he say, in the abundance of water, of food is still gonna be thirsty.
That's all. All right. I mean, we would have to take over a kind of a piece of
I'm playing the
mind
devil's
frame.
advocate here.
No doubt.
You-
Go to questions. We would have to take over some kind of piece of the internet. Since the internet is the face, I'm going to use the internet.
Come on with it.
We need a real base on the internet where they can escape, where they can somehow have at least one option to not see the same social program.
Right, an option.
And
Right.
we would have to make that founded safe haven.
Well, that's where it comes into the time, like again, what we're dealing with again with the Black Wall Street mind state. Because at that time, black people had their own everything. They own everything. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine now. We can go to a hotel, we own it. We can pull up in a gas station, we own it. We can go see a movie and we own the theater. Right? We can go get our clothes tailored and it's us who own the tailor shop. Right?
Comfortability.
So we got to get black. We can get our car fixed, it's us fixing it.
Yep.
You know, we comfortable with other people fixing our car now too. That's a whole next mind state. We don't even know mechanics. See, back in the day, you would know a mechanic. You didn't know a company. You knew a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? And that mechanic was a good mechanic And that's what he did, and it stayed in the money stayed in the community.
But them boys, they got so many tricks,
You
brother.
see
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
and again, I never condone a man's ignorance, but like you said, we talking about it. Let's go to it. I don't know if I've ever said it, and I don't know how people really gonna take this. And I sincerely mean this with from the most humble perspective that I can come from. But I feel that Martin Luther King was set up because when he desegregated, and that's what they wanted. They tricked him into doing that so that we would spend our money with them because they was counting that money. They count numbers, and they said, "Look how them blacks is growing and being born." If they keep spending this money with themselves at these black Wall Streets and these other ones they had in Florida and all over the country, 50, 60 years from now, they going to have the upper hand. How we going to trick these blacks into, let's get this boy King, we've been following him for years, he already got him going. Let's put some change behind him and keep him going and keep letting him out, and you know, and he going to desegregate him. And now, what kind of fool is going to go in a restaurant and make a person who don't like him and don't want him to be there go buy the food from him and eat it? Who did that first? Like what? You understand what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I respect all of our ancestors who traveled and fought and had positive intentions. You understand what I'm saying? But if we would have been spending that money with ourselves up until now, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's true.
Well,
That's just my...
What's that? Delusion of inclusion, right? Dick Gregory used to break that down.
Truly.
We think we doing something because we included Disney World. We get to go to Disney World, right?
Right.
So your plight doesn't count anymore. You're not even on your plight. You
Right.
in.
Yeah. But
So
you
the
don't
more
own it.
do you think the more success kills the black plight?
Say it one more time.
The more we are successful, does that kill the black plight? Since we're so divided.
I feel that we are. It has to do with something that is beyond our control. Why we are in the position that we are in. But I feel that the time of the wickedness is ending, and we are fortunate to be living at this particular time in the history of the world. So I would say, you know, what was you gonna say?
No.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, man,
It's think chance. Shoot your gun.
Yeah, man, for real. It's all love.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, because that's the realness. We just listening, you know what I mean? Speak your
want you to
point.
shoot
You know what I
the
mean?
guy.
It's all good. Because at the end of the day, is like I said, really, it's time for us to really come together and have our own everything. And it's going to happen because you got to understand, in 100 years past, we were at that point in time. The 1920s was a very, very prominent time for black people, successful black people, you know what I'm saying? Millionaires, you know what I mean? And we know how to make money, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't the problem. But what made everything much better is we did it for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We gave back, you know what I'm saying? We built things for ourselves. There's a black woman, right? Millionaire black woman from Atlanta by the name of Lottie Watkins, you know what I'm saying? A black woman, millionaire. Yes, sir, Lottie Watkins, right? Lottie Watkins now was a millionaire from basically owning homes and properties, right? That's what she did. She was in the real estate. She wound up buying a whole land out here in an area called Collier Heights. Now this area she built strictly for black entrepreneurs who wanted to have homes and have their place they work in their homes. So the houses was strictly designed for that. I'm talking about, so when you pull into the houses, they all in some nice hills set beautiful. Some of the most beautiful houses you ever want to see constructed. Black people did that, right? But she had these houses constructed, so when you drive into the house, you're driving first into a big garage. You know what I'm saying? And now the garage area is huge. It's like a whole floor. So they had people who did hair, you know what I'm saying, beauticians, you know what I'm saying, people who did food baking, all kind of stuff. The bottom level of the house was designed for that. and the up portion of the house was designed for living. I'm talking about the most biggest rooms you want to see, brethren. Rooms is like one room was like 17 by 17, right? And that wasn't even the master bedroom. Right?
Made them royal.
So,
They had to.
and if you see the bricks on this thing, brethren, the beauty of these bricks that's on these homes, you know what I mean? And the way these homes are designed, areas quiet, peaceful, all you hear is birds. Real neighbors too, ones that come cut your hedges for you.
So you say they whitewashed her, huh?
No, they never whitewashed. I ain't say that. I'm just showing
No.
you what she did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because her mind state was to build a better and a upful living for black people.
Shit.
You see what I'm saying? With her millions. Yeah. Hey, till this day, her family's still eating. You know what I'm saying? And her business, she's still alive. And you look up too. Lottie Watkins, she's still alive, own properties right now, and her great grandchildren now is running everything. Right? While she's relaxing. But she owned massive properties. Half of the West End
Half of the West End
is
coming
owned
up
by
there.
Mrs. Lottie Watkins.
Ain't she,
right?
ain't that Willie Watkins and them?
Nah, Willie
That's a different
Watkins,
Watkins.
another millionaire. Let's get into Willie then.
Watkins got
Watkins,
doggy.
The,
Watkins
the,
getting
the
that-
Willie Watkins, now the Willie Watkins now, he built his money off funeral homes. You know what I mean? Now, his funeral home might look simple, but people dying every day, right?
every day.
But they come and buy it. So when you look into Willie Watkins' real reality, this man is giving back to the community again. Does a lot.
He got a funeral home in damn near every county.
Man, a blessing.
All these counties that's touching Atlanta.
All
he
his
got one out in
grandchildren.
Douglasville. He got one out in
cheap.
All his grandchildren still wearing his old Borsellini hats.
Okay.
Because he ain't lost a cent, you know. He got the old white walls on the old
Oh.
hearses. He still
Yeah.
got that. He ain't lost a cent, you know.
1970.
Yeah, he's been paid long time. You know what I'm saying? And those are things you get to see. You know what I'm saying? And get to inspire you. They have one of the richest men also here from Atlanta also by the name of Orlando Hall.
What's up with him?
This is the Barber brother who wind up becoming an insurance agency and still to this day became a millionaire off his insurance agency, right? And the heights of it is now this man has a house up, still a mansion right up the street right here off of MLK. A mansion still sits there, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Right.
we had it. Even the first black hotel was right there off MLK. Right? We had a hotel right there where black people actually own. You know what I mean? Where we can go to a hotel that we actually own right now. If it's a real nice hotel, if anything. You see what I'm saying? Not even
Probably not.
because we don't invest in these things, you know what I mean? As them times did, we had no choice because at the end of the day we couldn't go stay at their places.
And we benefited.
We couldn't go eat at their places.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? So it was because people forget that there were black people still in slavery all up into the 1960s. Easy. Those are the last people that came out and said they just didn't realize that slavery was over. It was in the 1960s. But I've seen a video, was an elder woman from Mississippi, was in the early 2000s, just didn't realize that slavery has ended.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that.
Yeah. It's a real true
I
video.
find that hard. I would have to
Yeah.
really go talk to that lady before I believe that.
Oh no.
I believe she was paid to say that way before I believe she was that ignorant.
Oh nah, brethren.
I'd
In
have to go talk to her,
Mississippi-
and I could be wrong.
No,
I'll eat I eat
Mississippi.
crow, I'll eat my hat or what the fuck ever they say.
Yeah.
Eat.
'Cause,
If
yeah,
I'm wrong,
yeah,
I've been
she-
wrong before,
yeah,
so I'll eat my
slavery-
words.
Because you understand
I'll-
that the further south you go, you know, deep up in there,
I can find that one hard though.
you got a deeper racism. You understand?
Yeah, man.
A deeper racism because them was old slave masters for real.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So them old slave masters still have that mindset, and the people around them still have that mindset if they haven't left.
Sure, very.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's
To
the
a
thing.
certain extent, though.
Y'all right.
Yeah.
I would say to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
you gotta leave because see that's the thing. Most of us don't
mean-
realize that we all have family from the South.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
We just migrated to different parts of this country.
Well, I mean, even
You
that,
know what I
brethren,
mean?
I'll say that prior to, see,
Yeah.
we can't buy into, like you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you can take 98% of what you've been told and trash it. as far as their history, as far as their laws, their rules, their regulations, and I say trash it from a history perspective, they're probably fucking lying 98% of the time. There's a lie in something. Somewhere in there, there's some bullshit. I promise you, 98% of it. That's for one. And as far as their rules and regulations, they are always going to be geared to benefit the mentality that they have, not that we have, we're different. You know, some dogs act different than other dogs. So their temperament is different than our temperament. Our understanding and clarity and spiritual awareness is different than theirs. I'm not saying that they're not human, but they're not as complete as we are. I say that from a mental and a psychological perspective, because you can look at how they act. You understand what I'm saying? If they conduct if it walk like a duck and what it doing the thing, you know, if it walk like a duck and talk like a duck, it's a duck. So with all that being said, the point I'm trying to make is that their history was a lie. So I want people out there in TV land to do some homework on the Elodial titles. Elodial titles. So to make a long story short, how that story went is it was people like we were just discussing migrating from the South. When so-called Columbus came to Turtle Island, that they later started calling America, but we called it when we were living here, point I'm making, it was millions of people living here. We were all over this continent of what they called North America or United States or what the fuck ever. It was tribes all across this country. Period. So it wasn't no we migrated, you know, that things happened and shit came together, but we was already here. We was all over this motherfucker, man. We was all over. So it ain't like we had to migrate from nowhere far. We was right there. And they grouped, they were looking for India. So that's where they got the lie from. Indians. Ain't no fucking Indians in America. It ain't no Chinese from Africa. So how is it some Indians from America? Indians is in India. That's easy. So they was looking for India. The people were here, us, the indigenous people of the Turtle Island. They called us Indians. Went back and told the queen that. She sent the fools over with the guns. They came over and took over. They did go get some Africans from Africa, but nowhere near the amount that they claimed came. That's the lie. They went and got some. What makes you think Christopher Columbus and the people with the chicken pox and the smallpox gonna come to America and then float all the way over to Africa, pick up 300 Zulus warriors and bring them back? 300 a pop. Enough to count how many they say came through?
But you gotta understand that the thing is, you gotta understand that this is the part that you gotta understand.
What?
We multiply.
Yeah.
We just, they can't kill us, so we multiply. So I'm just saying, we multiply.
Yes.
So if you bring 10 of us, that's still gonna add up to 100.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Okay.
Just 10. You still got 100.
Possible.
Because that 10 gonna manifest 100. Back
Sooner
then,
or later, yeah.
Listen, hold on.
Okay.
In them times there, black people was known to make at least 16, 18 children with one woman.
That's true.
Some.
And then they had more than one woman pregnant. This is what we're going on, you know. Black people was making abundance of babies. You know what I'm saying? So they knew that. They knew that we can reproduce because that was the wealth they made off us for our numbers. You know what I'm saying? We were cattle to them, pretty much. You understand? We were the first real Wall Street
So they still
dollar.
was lying then because they counting one as 10. Even though, okay,
That's
say
the
that
whole
one
lie.
could make the 10.
That's why
that's
they
the
have.
lie.
That's why they have the whole saying is it is 3/5 of a man to make one white man. That's why that whole reality had to come, because master wasn't as much as his slaves. Master on the land, and he got hundreds of slaves. Hundreds of master. Him, his wife, his picnic, whatever he got, he might got a few of us mixed in, but the rest of them is all slaves. I mean the numbers. So our numbers multiply. This is the parts you gotta understand. We constantly, that's why they're trying to kill us now. That's what all this thing is about right now. What is it about? Population what?
Oh, no doubt about that.
All right,
You talking about that?
let's break down
Come on, let's
population
get it.
control.
Let's get that.
Let's go into it. Birth control,
Bomb.
condoms,
Boom.
Right?
Huh?
All right?
Abortion.
Abortion. Give me another one.
Blood clots. Brain trauma.
Nah, how about
Right.
birth control?
Yeah, well, what does
because-
birth control do?
Because birth control stops the birth of the child, right?
Controls the
It
birth
controls the birth.
Oh, I was
They-
going. Go ahead.
So my point is saying that everything they're doing. Okay, what about even careers?
Career stop babies too.
Careers stop babies. I can't have a baby. I gotta have a career.
I need my big house, car, blah blah.
Right.
Taking a lot of years.
COVID-19 shot, the second shot, sterilizes you for life.
Yeah.
You will not be able to produce a child. They don't even tell the man if the man take the shot, he's not even supposed to ejaculate into a woman because she can actually pass on these things for about 6 weeks, they saying. Yeah, all this stuff going on. But my point is saying is that they know that our numbers is consistently growing. So everything is about controlling our numbers. That's why they went into Africa, where all these things trying to test it. You understand? AIDS and all that was created by the same dude who's on stand right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So we know the plot of what they up to. The whole thing is to stop us from growing our numbers. Now, I know for a fact, you know what I'm saying, that there were ships that traveled. You understand? There were ships that traveled. There were slaves that didn't make it because they fought not to be here.
Yes.
Them numbers ain't even counted too.
Yes.
You understand?
I agree.
But what we're not really seeing is the whole heights of the melanated man on the planet. You understand?
Okay.
Is that we populated the whole planet with
That's
our
what I'm-
seed,
That's it. Okay.
There were black people
right?
in Europe.
But I'm just saying,
They came over on
I'm
the
just
boat with
saying,
the
because look,
with Columbus.
they all come from our seed. There's
Yeah.
no difference, you know, understand? Because see, there's no bunch of races, it's the human race. Even we shouldn't even be calling the white man, because he's really pale. That's a
Okay.
pale skin. You understand? But my point is saying though, and the Indian man knew that. He called him the pale faced man
Yep.
with a forked tongue. You know what I mean? Because the fork was basically a split.
Two sides.
You know what I'm saying?
Life.
That's like the snake tongue
A
is
liar.
split. So it's gonna tell you one thing and do it next, you know?
It's still
Forked
split.
tongue.
Yep.
So they know. They knew his ways. You understand? So their whole thing was never with us as the black man. This is the part they don't want us to see. The
Oh,
Indian
okay. I see where you're going.
and the African was always brothers anyway.
That's all I'm
There
saying.
was no difference.
That's
We just
all I'm
came
saying.
different routes. This is what I'm showing you. We came different routes. The Indian came from Canada because they still in like Russia, which I mean from Russia coming over into Alaska. Some stayed in Alaska, but once they come down into the United States way, they became the Indian man, the more redder tone man. You understand? From coming more into the heat.
Okay.
Because California and all those places are hot regions.
Some
you
of
see
them.
What I'm saying?
I'll say.
Right.
I'm not denying it.
You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
there's
So
no doubt.
they
There was no
came
doubt there's
down,
some migration.
and then
Yeah,
they came down more or less and became more redder tone.
Okay.
But my point is saying now, our journey was much different. You understand? Coming from the way we have came, because see, we here on a whole different reason. You understand? We were captive. We were all captive. You understand? From
Not
a land.
all of it. That's what I
That's
think
what I'm
we
trying to show
disagree
you.
at.
I understand. I'm just showing you from
Okay.
a point. It's 2 points to this thing because I ain't get to the next point.
Okay.
There's a place called Louisiana. You understand?
Purchase.
That's been here way before the United States.
If
was
you
even
purchase
built,
something, that means you had to get it from somebody,
right?
right?
So, and in that point, black people been there. You understand? Because those people were coming from the Haiti way, coming from all that way there too, coming in from the coasts, because that's what Louisiana was. It was a coast, so pirates and all kind of things normally went through, but they wasn't going all the way in. It wasn't no all the way in business. It was more or less the port. This is where we at, and then we going out. We ain't going all the way in. But my point is saying now, some came that route, but differently winding it forward is what I was saying. Ones that was carried captives on ships. Now the ones that was carried captives on ships were bought and sold.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
all those ones who were bought and sold still are accounted for right now.
He's arguing the number though.
I'm just saying they all accounted for.
You think?
Yeah, because they all got IDs. They all
But
got
they
United
could all.
States
Here
IDs.
come they lies again. So you know you can't
I'm just
listen to
saying.
nothing they say.
I'm just
so
saying.
they're going to
because-
take the one. This is what.
because of the fact that they have
Right.
United States identifications.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That makes them those ones that was imported from slavery.
So
You understand?
That's
Other
what
than
they
that,
call.
automatically.
automatically, guaranteed. You have a social security number. You a slave.
They
You
consider
a
you.
descendant of a slave.
You was descendant of a slave.
But is that
Guaranteed.
the African slave or the indigenous slave?
There's two different people. They don't have a United States ID. They can't have one.
Who?
Anyone who's outside of that perimeter.
What
But
you
if
mean?
I'm just saying, anyone who's not a slave from any of those ships can't have a United States identification
So where's
because
the
they don't have a
descendants of the
background to lead them into being from those line of people who was those original slaves.
Oh, I hear you.
That's what I'm saying.
But where's the descendants from the Indians since they were really us?
What's the
Well-
history on the Social Security number two?
Well, here's the thing.
I
now.
think that's
In a
young.
second.
Yeah, I mean, so it's still all it is keeping track of their slaves. This is all they're doing.
What's your ID number?
You know what I mean?
Title.
Your
Title.
last name, all those things are given to us by the masters. You understand? We didn't take on these things; they were given to us. So, my point is saying that the Indian man has a whole different realm because he's not into the system like that with us. You understand? He's on a whole different realm.
Link is saying we them Indians. So he basically.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
that-
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. You go.
I
Go.
don't
Go.
know.
Go ahead. Let me hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I want,
He's saying the niggas is the Indians.
That's impossible.
I'm saying that.
Okay, my bad.
Not all. You saying
Not-
all the Negroes that came
no,
from
not
the-
all. I'm saying that the story that they say about Christopher Columbus coming to America, finding Indians were not in India.
Right,
That's
biggest
we gotta start right there. That's one thing right there. This is not India. So he's lying, right? That's some bullshit, right? We can't. Oh, that's not arguable, right?
Right, no
so
doubt.
stop. Let's stop saying Indians, cause that it's like, what the fuck? Why you gonna call? What if I called you a white man?
What's the indigenous name then?
The indigenous. That means you're indigenous. You've been to the land because, like I just said, also there were black people in Europe.
The Moors.
So if the Moors was in Europe, why come they wasn't in America? Some of them. I'm not saying everybody. I'm
Well-
saying that there are so-called what they call descendants of Africans, descendants of the slaves in America. 70% of them, I would say, are probably more indigenous than they are from the slave line. They took the indigenous people,
Well-
they took the red Indians when they came down, and they took the blacks that they took from Africa, and they put them all in one motherfucking bucket and said, y'all black. And then they said, you guys is Indians
Well,
when you
it
look
was
like
it was a
this.
science to the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear that
Because
argument.
here's the science, right? The white man tried to put the Indian into slavery.
Yes.
Right? That was
Indigenous,
the first
not Indian.
okay, indigenous
I'm
man
just
to the
saying.
land. Right?
There was somebody here. The people who's already.
Well, let's just say okay, the Native American, right? If you want to say that.
Let's say
If they-
Turtle
let's-
Island because it wasn't America.
I'm
I don't
just
like
saying,
when they
just
call.
just to keep it simple, so we can move forward on the word.
Yeah.
But the word sound is
My point-
power.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
but
though.
that
Go ahead,
word
go
right
ahead. I
there,
got
we
you.
get let's
I got
forward
you.
on it so we get the people right, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
The red man, right?
Mm-hmm.
My point is saying now, when the red man was put into slavery, right, in captivity by the white man or the pale man, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say any, but the red woman,
Correct.
the red woman,
Indigenous.
you know, the indigenous woman, his wife would not produce children
Okay.
in captivity.
Yeah, silence.
So she vowed that if you have me in captivity, I won't produce for you. So the white man, the pale man, realized that he couldn't really make no wealth off of the Indians because the Indians wouldn't produce in captivity. They would lock off that whole vibration. But when they put the black man, right, the original man, into captivity, they still was producing. He noticed that. He was able to have them in captivity and it was still going on, still manifesting and producing more children. So that's why, for one reason, exactly why the Indian could never be captive like that for the white man, and he knew that because they stood on principles. They never lost their principles. That's why they still secluded to this day. But my point is, even with them, those are some real warriors because they stood up. You had a man by the name of Crazy Horse, right? Now, Crazy Horse was the most wildest Indian of them all. Excuse my word, you don't understand, but just a little history. Crazy Horse was the one who was told by a shaman that he wasn't going to die in battle, right? He was told that he wasn't going to die in battle. So Crazy Horse mind was stated that he was going to come out victorious anyway. No matter what he did, they couldn't stop him or kill him because the shaman told him that. And he knew his powers was true. So everything that he did it victorious, right? Till this day, the white man still scared of the name Crazy Horse because they know what he stood for and what he did for his people. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't hold him down. So, long story short, the way Crazy Horse died was by the hand of his own, right? He couldn't die from anyone else because he was too powerful, and they knew that. So it was the hand of his own that killed him. But my point again is saying that there are 566 different Indian tribes, right? 566 different tribes, and all of them are headed by Crazy Horse, which is the Locatar Indians. You understand? They call it the circle of life. You understand? They deal with the circle of life. This is what they do. They love us and respect us. This is the next thing too. They never had a war and beef with us as a people. You understand? But yeah, man, it's a beautiful
They
thing.
group this in together, brother.
When we really network and build with them, President, it's a great thing that's going to happen. You understand? Because that's the missing link. You understand? For us to connect again as one, as brothers.
Now you hitting that one right
You see what I'm saying? Because that's what we are. We brothers.
So the Indians right now on the reservation,
Yeah.
are those the Indians y'all talking about?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it depends on which ones, because they the same ones. They also in the
My
bloodline.
man's down the block near the West End.
No,
Not them.
He talking about the ones, the red man.
The indigenous,
The
the red man. Yeah.
They
Well,
were-
that's the next Indian. Yeah,
the
that's
next
the one that's
the
on
next
the block.
indigenous person of the Americas is the African. There
So
were
the red man
Africans
was
in
first?
America. Say it again.
Red man was first?
I can't say who's first because, again, like I said, I'm not going to listen to his story unless I can see the red man's journal or the African man's journal. Then, because I know when I listen to the European journal, I already said it. 98% of it, there's a fucking lie in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So we already dealt with the fact that they lying calling these
Here's a-
people Indians.
here's the next
So
fact.
I'm not going to buy into the
Here's
fact
the
that
next
anything
fact.
they say.
Here's the next
I'm
fact.
not wholeheartedly. I'm gonna listen to it, but
here's
I'm
the
gonna
next
take it for
fact,
what it's
though.
worth. And if there was Africans all over the world, then Turtle Island was part of that world.
No, but here's the next fact too.
And and I say that no, I say that yes, I agree. There was some Africans that got stolen from Africa, but it wasn't the 12 million that they said. They wasn't going over
That's
there getting
what I'm
them
getting at.
300 at a pop. They wasn't
Both of
going.
y'all, You sound like you came on the ship and you sound like you was here already.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a fact. I
it,
definitely was on the ship.
and I definitely was already here.
I don't know which one I was on.
Yeah, I definitely was on the ship. Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
I bless it.
Tucked
bless it.
in. Yes,
See
indeed.
Yes,
It was the most worst journey in my life. Right? You understand?
Oh,
Because you know we've been here before. Because you know. Your family is you and you your family.
Yeah, man.
You understand? That's the seeds you
blood is
come. Your
millions
blood,
of years
what I
old.
said is his tree.
Yes, sir.
So from his tree, I come from. I know my family was there in that number. You understand? Yeah, it was feces. It was throw up.
No way.
All of that. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It was nowhere to do it at. You had to do it
Yeah.
right there. It was in lines and rows. It was tucked in. There's no space.
It wasn't no easy thing. Just
But my
like
thing is-
they wasn't just going over there rounding up 300 Zulu warriors.
I know.
pop,
I
and
know.
bringing
I know.
them
It
back,
still was.
grouping them up.
But see, my point is what I'm saying is that the ones that went through that, because it was a lot more than that. Because that's just getting off the ship. When we get here, it get even worse. Oh, it get even worse when we get here.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, it get really worse. You know, hangings. You talking about?
Rape.
You talking about castration?
All of
You
that.
understand the black man being castrated, brethren. You understand what my people been through. Because here's the thing. This is why I love Marcus Garvey.
You can look
know.
at what they did to
This
themselves.
is what Marcus Garvey say, you know. This is why I love Marcus. Marcus Garvey said race first. Right? That's where he said it at. He said it at race first because he realized that we have to put our race first.
Oh, no
That's
doubt
what
about it.
everybody else is doing.
Everybody
No
else
doubt about
is
it.
doing.
No doubt about it.
Hey,
He found that key and said
He
that's
found
the
that-
whole key to true success.
So
True
we,
success.
well, like you said, we are one. I'm not trying to separate
Oh,
the
no, we
indigenous
not
man
separate, no.
from the African.
I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm
just
just saying within the
together.
bloodline.
It was
lineage,
different
everything
tribes.
Was,
That's all
it
I'm
was,
saying.
It was race first. It was just that reality that it's our race first. We got to really focus on that because then we got to focus on the now the rules and the morality of our race. You understand? Because we had our own rules, we had our own moralities that we dealt with and we upheld. You understand? As our race first, it brings back our dignity for ourselves. You understand? For our true selves again. You understand? That's when we can tighten up and be like, hold on, let me make sure your shirt is right on you.
Yeah.
You understand? Let me making sure
Hungry,
you
need a
eat.
ride.
Yeah, you know,
I mean, every tribe, like, I
because
understand what you're
that's
saying. Every
that's
tribe
what it
got
that's
their
what
own
it was.
rules,
It's like
their own ways. I mean, not rules, but own ways. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, we can agree to, you know, we can respect each other's ways once we come in each other's area. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, we got this savage with his foot on our neck and a steering wheel in our back, and we ain't got no time to be arguing with each other about something we can deal with in a little bit later time. Right now, let's get this fool's steering wheel out our back. Let's get this fool's foot up off our neck. Let's take our rightful place as the Earth's rightful rulers in our own individual tribes. Let's have our own
But
dignitaries
again-
that deal with each other in the work. Because it's
again-
all, at the end of the day, it's all about love.
yeah,
ain't it?
it's all about love.
So
truly.
if I love you and you love me and you pray that like this,
But first, we have to love our race.
seeing,
That's what I'm saying.
well,
It ain't gonna get to no love. We can't look because that's the problem right now.
that's called organized.
We programmed
I mean,
to love
unify.
other races,
we got to unify.
brethren.
We are programmed to
We
love our
programmed
race.
to love other races.
Everyone but ourselves.
Everyone but ourselves, brethren. You understand? And that is where we get to the true love. The love for our race again. Because then we get to love for our race, we get to love for our land. Because every race has a land. We the only race of people. Huh? We the only race of people that don't acknowledge the land.
Turtle Island's ours, though, right?
Turtle Island is ours. Yeah, the whole world is ours.
So let me ask
we
this.
are we like I said earlier, we are Earth's rightful rulers. It shouldn't be no Europeans and no Chinese and them people.
Well,
and, no,
well,
well,
I
excuse,
take that
I take that
back.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I ain't calling no people out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
the people who are running the world
There's
ain't
only-
doing it right.
There's only one earth rightful ruler. And the world should know that. The only one earth rightful ruler is His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First.
All right.
And we
Okay.
don't rule anything. We don't rule anything. You understand? Our time is nigh here. You understand? So,
The level lower than that, in man's realm, I think you need that.
well, in man's realm again, it's still the earth rightful ruler is His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. Because that's in man's realms. And that man lives in Ethiopia in a kingdom that's already been established from the beginning of time. So it's already been done. Everything comes from there. Everything will return there. But my point again is saying, though, you had a group of people that was sent over here, you know what I'm saying, that people forget about, which was called the Buffalo Soldiers. You understand? Because, see, the white man, the pale-faced man wasn't winning the war against the indigenous man. Because the indigenous man was more skilled with the land, with the bow, you understand, with their hands and knew how to survive off the land. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They were the survivors. You understand?
Took them a long time.
Right.
They have been here for thousands of years. That's what makes you indigenous.
The-
when you can trace your bloodline back, like you said, they knew what they
The
was doing. 'cause they've been
pale-faced
doing it
man-
for so long.
Lived in bunkers.
Caves.
No, it was a bunker. He had the what you call them logwoods all around around him what you call now a compound. They lived in compounds, which you had a big wood log compound with a gate that just could only fly up for a quick moment in time and have to shut down with the quickness because there were bow and arrows shooting through there. Yeah, that's how they lived. And they had to have men on guard 24 hours surrounding them,
They call
watching
that a
this.
fort.
All right, good. That's what they lived in, right? So it wasn't until they went to Africa, as Bob said again, the Buffalo Soldier, right? Bought to America. You understand? But bought from Africa, right? So now we here in America help the European to fight against the Indian man to win the war for them. Because that was their first war. We got to stay focused on that. Their first war was against the Indian. Because everywhere they go, they create war. You understand?
warmongers.
Yeah, they warmongers. They going to either steal it or they going to, you understand, cheat
Steal
you
it
out
or
of
kill
it.
it.
Yeah.
So
steal
we
it or
have
kill it.
established the fact that
So,
they did not go to India.
oh, we definitely know the fact of that. That's a fact because the whole fact of that is that the Indian man was never really the focus. The focus was for them to really get to India,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So, but they only could get to India
If they went,
a different route.
so
But they didn't. He didn't want to go that route, and he didn't know any routes because he was a drunken old white dude anyway.
and who was in the nest, the bird's nest, who guided the boat to the ship to America, Turtle Island.
Again, a
He was
black
a
man.
Moor.
Yeah.
He was a Moor.
But
who
see-
traveled the seas, who knew that was there, and was like he was in jail. I'm speculating and paraphrasing. I wasn't there, and I'm not the brother. I wasn't on the ship, but I can only imagine if it was your boy. You understand what I'm saying? And I was a Mo and knew how to travel the seven seas, and I knew about Turtle Island, and I was in jail in Europe because that's what it was. Wasn't they all people who were in jail? The jails were full, so they said take these people with you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was one of them and they told me to take the guide, I would be like, man, I got some cousins over on Turtle Island. I'm finished. What they talking about? I'm not going to India. I'm just gonna ride up on Turtle Island and be like, yeah, they don't know. They don't nobody know about it but me. I'm going over here.
But you ain't
Well, my-
killing.
But-
well, I mean, I'm getting free. I'm getting to go with my cousin and
But
them.
you know the reality
Pull
is
up, I'm gonna
he
tell
never.
them the
You
story.
just
You
bringing
know,
the crack
but
into
still we know
Messed
the
up,
reality.
messed up. The Moors did some messed up things.
Nah,
man. The
but
Moors
still,
responsible for a lot.
truly,
Of
yeah, dude.
You know,
but
we all
they,
did,
They
you know.
actually were the slave, what you call overseers.
Yes.
They
Moors.
civilized
Most people
them.
don't realize that Moors were slave overseers. That they oversee the slaves for the Europeans. They
So don't
did
be
this
surprised that
all
one
the
of
way
them-
up until the end of slavery. That's what the Moors did. That's what their job was to do. But my point is saying again though, is that it wasn't until the Buffalo Soldier came to United Snakes to help the Europeans fight against the Indians that they were able to be victorious against the Indians. So
Okay.
so that was a set of us already here.
Yes.
We helped in every war.
Now you got all those black soldiers. Let's be real. Real soldiers, real Africans. They here. They done defeated the Indian man, indigenous man. But now you got Pocahontas sitting there looking beautiful, black, long hair.
You're making my point. That's exactly all I'm saying.
I'm just showing you reality,
Yeah.
right? What you think that the black man in Pocahontas got going on?
The wild thing.
Okay, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. And it's been that way. So the Indian has already been mixed in with us from way back when, even in that time. That's a fact. There's no doubt in that. So most of us have Indian in us because we come from the Buffalo Soldier and mixing in with the Indian tribes. There's no doubt in that. But those,
the other
and those
Africans that had already been here.
those indigenous Indians were just black, just like we were
Yes.
too. They wasn't really all of them wasn't just really high color red.
Red,
They
no,
were
there you
more
go. That's all I've been
So I'm
saying. That's
showing
all
you.
I'm saying. That's-
It's just through.
Yes.
So that's not the red man.
It's still he was still a red tone. No, he was red.
So
Red.
that man
But
There
see-
was some that
But
came
see, you
down
gotta
through-
understand that.
through
Like
Asia,
again,
like y'all
what I
said,
say
I mean,
again.
through,
There's
Canada and Alaska and all.
566 different tribes.
So our tones just vary.
Come on, there's 3 tones right here. Look at that.
Go to Africa. Look
There's
at all
three-
the
there's
tones
3
over there.
tones right here.
Yeah, we doing it.
That's 3 tones. You talking about
All tones
500,
of copper.
right?
Different tones of copper.
Right.
You feel me? You
Street
talk
bars.
about 566 different tribes. You got the Blackfoots.
Dope.
You can go in for days on
You
the
got the
tribes.
Choctaw. You
Right?
got the Muskogee.
You
You
go
got
in
the
for
Yamasee.
days on them.
Okay.
But it's 566 of them, and who leads that?
Representing that.
The Locatar, which is Crazy Horse, right?
And here we go with that. Here we go
Because
again.
again, he was the one who stood up and fought the longest. That's what he did. He just wasn't giving up. Everybody else was like, up, let him have it.
It was his.
But they couldn't stop him,
Go
right?
back to allodial titles.
So my point is saying is that this is just the times we in now. We coming up. Now you got another era coming in again through the slavery hour. You understand? A portion of us was brought in again then. So now we got 3 portions of us here already. Let's go in again. There was a portion that was here from Louisiana. Already here.
Right.
Louisianians already been here. The main ports, black people already been here.
That's
Because
all I'm saying,
we
brother.
travel. I'm just
I
showing you the
concur.
reality. We travel. So every port, black people had to be there because we are the original fishermen. You understand? Dealing with land, right?
We are
And
the
sea.
original navigators.
Land and sea, right? They know that. Everyone should know that. We just don't know that,
Check
right?
that time.
But my point is saying now, coming again, those 2. Now you got the next one coming in from slavery, the next coming in from the Buffalo Soldiers, right? Mixing in. Here we are now, in this day and time, right? Numbers increase massively. You understand? We don't even know our real numbers, to be honest with you.
We
So why we gonna
Because they telling
listen
us
to
our
them?
numbers.
There we go.
That's my
We
point
can't
is,
listen to them.
We don't even know the true sides of Africa.
We can't listen to them.
Because they telling us these things. You see what I'm saying?
We can't never listen to what they tell us.
Consciously, we should know that Africa is the biggest continent on the face of the planet.
There's no doubt about it.
But when we listen to these people and the way they tell, again, I say what I say. You gotta unlearn everything you learn. Right?
Lauryn Hill said you've been miseducated.
All right. That's true and sound. And
You've
that's
been
a true sound.
miseducated.
And a fire album.
And the
too.
higher your
One
education,
of the Fires album.
Yeah,
the
one
higher
of-
your
Yes,
education,
indeed, one
the
of.
more misled you have been. That's why they call it a master's degree. They have masterfully convinced you to be what they want you to be.
Truly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's going on right now.
You got it. They got you. You done read all their books,
So
took
what-
all their tests,
So what?
took all their brainwashing.
Flipping into the future right now.
Let's go.
Juneteenth, right?
Wow.
Juneteenth was just yesterday. We on the 20th now. So Juneteenth was yesterday, but today is Father's Day. Yes, indeed. I call it Responsibility Day because, you know, as a father, we got to know first that we got to be responsible. Stand up, you know what I mean? Not just a father. Anybody can make a child. Be responsible for that child. That's what it's about.
That's a fact.
You know what I
Do
mean?
your diligence.
So, differently though, we here building on Juneteenth, right? So they give it, this guy come up now, Sleepy Joe. Oh, they done. Sleepy Joe, right? Pedophile Joe.
Petty Joe.
Petty Joe. So Petty Joe says he's gonna sign the paper for the Juneteenth to be a federal holiday. What a joke. How many black people work for the federal government?
Not too many, but a lot.
So how many black people are really gonna be celebrating and getting a check for a federal holiday?
When you say federal, ain't all of them federal holidays?
Nah.
So it's just a federal.
There's a national holiday.
Okay, there you go.
You got the national holiday, like all these guys and girls we celebrate every year, which was a national holidays. You got a federal holiday. So that means
Who benefits?
the federal white people.
So wait a minute.
The
You saying
federales.
on federal holidays, regular
The
regular people,
federalities.
if
You
you're
see how funny? You see how funny these people are playing with people's time?
I'm gonna look that up.
Because it's not a national holiday. It's a federal holiday. So my point again is, did we ask for that?
No.
I ain't seen nobody sit up and put a sign so we need we need this to be a, but I know say we still asking for reparations. Right? That bill on the table.
correct.
It's just like this is a table right here, right? That bill is still on the table.
And they staring at
They
it.
staring at that bill right there, but they ain't passed that bill and cut that check.
Hocus pocus, switch to focus.
But you gonna tell me a national federale holiday I'm supposed to be happy for that I ain't even ever asked for.
That's
I'm
what they
saying.
do, man.
Trump said he told us about it.
Trump did
When
what?
Trump said,
All them cats is the same, man.
I'm the reason black people know about Juneteenth.
That's like me, you, and him
Look
sitting
at
here
that.
and saying,
For real.
we gonna do this one thing,
So-
but when we go outside, we gonna act like we fighting each other.
We already knew Juneteenth.
Democrats and Republicans is one. Remember
Probably
that.
most of
It's
America
one
did,
republic.
though.
They say I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. They don't say Democrat, so it's only one. It's only one power. They just put that other one out there again to keep everybody from paying attention to what they doing. They work hand in hand.
It's more to the
Trump
joke,
and
though.
Biden is
It's
lovers.
more to the joke, man. It's more to the joke. Hold on. So, it's a federal holiday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But now, if you know, Father's Day normally comes around the same time of a 19 in June. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's on a 20th, but it's a Sunday in June. You see what I'm saying? But most of the other ones be earlier in June within the 19th. So on the same weekend that you've got the Juneteenth, which they're celebrating on the 19th, right? There's Father's Day. All right? So there's no difference. You ain't get no big celebration time because it's all set in one anyway. But here's the next part of the joke. Juneteenth Day, June 19th. But the reality is, it was the 13th, was the first teen. Right? 19 is the last teen, you know. Because see, it took that time for the black man to get the circulation going on from the 13th, because that's when they really found out on the 13th. So it was the 13th, the 9th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, to the 19th when they read the paperwork in Houston, Texas, right? And the black men really realized that they were free. But the paperwork was circulating all the way from the first 13. Even before that, it was supposed to be passed already in 65, right?
Yeah.
Into place, but the black people wasn't really getting a hold to it,
So
to know, say it was actually signed and sealed.
Until 68.
Right.
So, why they got you celebrating one teen?
Yeah, how we get to 3.
So, the reality is, you should be having all those teens free. Just to do whatever you want and get paid for it. You understand? But
That's a good week to boycott black
what,
people.
I mean, end of the day is that'll shut the system down too.
That'll
Because
shut the system
anything
down.
we doing outside of them is a no-no. They lose money.
Yeah.
You understand? So keep it on the weekend.
Juneteenth.
That's the only weapon.
Let them go ahead and celebrate that on a teen, a 19. But the reality is, we supposed to have all them days, and then on reality, we supposed to have our reparations.
Let's take them off.
So we don't want no day. You understand? We want our pay. Bomba. Yeah, and we just building because that's a true thing. We got to stay focused, you know what I mean? Because again, ain't nothing really sealed until we get our reparations. You understand? We need our own land back. You understand? We need our own everything back because that's guaranteed to us, and that bill is on the table. But we don't step up and ask for that. They got us so sidetracked. You understand?
We got to organize before we do that, man. They can't put no $100 million in our hand. Not with these leaders. Who's saying we gonna put it in?
Well, it's all about this. Give us the land and give us our just due with the bread.
But we so caught up in the white
We'll be
man's
all right.
foolishness.
That's what I'm saying. But again,
we gonna wind up doing what he do. We
but
so
nah,
deep in his foolishness.
Nah, we not. No,
we gonna
not.
conduct our.
No, we
some
not.
of us ain't.
No, we not.
Come
I
on
couldn't
with it.
say
What
that.
land?
Well, that's back to the Elodio title. I want y'all look it up. We're gonna talk about it next time. Give me some questions on that. Elodio title shit. The land.
What is an allodial title?
Elodio title is, long story short, when the European came over here, he translated the indigenous man's language from, if you ask me my last name, and I might say Chuck Tuck or something like that. I can't speak none of the languages, but I would say it in my tongue, and he translated it into Williams. And he's the one writing down the ledgers and everything and making up all the rules. So we had a Elodio natural titleship. Certain tribes had certain areas that was plotted out that was theirs. That's why they said the Louisiana Purchase. They purchased that from somebody. That means we gave something for it. If it's yours already, then why'd you have to purchase it?
Yeah.
It's heavier
But
than
now, since you speak on a Louisiana Purchase,
that. See what time we got.
yes, indeed. Enough ones need to also look up who purchased Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Because who actually purchased Louisiana was Menelik II from Ethiopia. The king of Ethiopia at that time in the 1800s was Menelik II, who purchased Louisiana to free the slaves at that point from that time because they already knew that there were bloodlines of them who were
Already over here.
enslaved and
Yes.
carried over
Yes.
here. You see what I'm saying? So that whole thing was
Get to that.
was set up. So y'all look that up. We're gonna get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a new episode and always a fire episode.
Looking out,
Boom.
baby.
Yes, indeed.
In
For
the
real,
building.
for real.
Think
Peace and
champs.
blessings.
Yeah,
Ken,
man.
get thanks for coming
Blessing,
through.
blessing.
Rocking with us, you know?
Think champs.
And we're gonna see y'all
2000
on
in
that
the future.
time, man.
That's how we doing it.
Next time, next episode. And you are now tuning out to what? The Think Champs.
Get you some.
Peace.
Harder.